Hi, it's G from the Academy, and it's another simple lesson to help you reflect about how to become better as a teacher, better as a student, better as a friend, better as a confidant, better as a motivator, better as a parent, better as you yourself. So, the principle today is that the boring mind breeds boredom, or that the boring man, perhaps, breeds boredom for themselves. What does this mean? Well, I remember, and this comes from just to say, this comes from the fact that a lot of people have expressed to me recently the idea that they were and are bored with some things in their lives. Now, obviously, this is coming from younger people, teenagers, although not solely, not just from that group. And this led me to reflecting on my own experiences with this topic, and so I'm going to share with you the thought processes that I went through to help myself with this. And it begins with my summer holidays from school, where I remember saying to my mother, "I'm bored. Mom, I'm bored." I think I remember standing at the top of the stairs shouting downstairs to my mother, who was in the kitchen, "Mom, I'm bored, there's nothing to do." Of course, my mother would say there's always something to do, there's always some work in the garden, and work in the garden, and I would grudgingly find a way to fill my time with some relatively pointless, unconstructive activity. So, what's the point? And the point is not just about things like Scottish weather, which in the summer there are long days without much sunshine. So it's not just a relationship to that. Although I was thinking about that as well. And if you look at lists of Scottish inventors and inventions, there are a huge number for a small country, and that might be due to the fact the weather was so bad that people couldn't go outside, and so they had to do something inside, so they just became creative. It could also be that Scotland has a long history of the support of education in the south of the country. There could be a lot of aspects to that. Scotland's greatest export, its people, the need to protect yourself from the bad weather, and so on. Anyway, it's an interesting thing to study, but that's a sideline. So I would say to my mother that I was bored, and this is a bit crazy, and I'll get to why it's crazy in a minute. But so yesterday, the point is yesterday, a student said to me that they were bored at the weekend. There was nothing to do, and so I was thinking that boredom is not really natural. Yes, you experience it, but it's an artificial experience. It's not a natural state. And as another little tangent, I sometimes think that it comes from school. It's a learned state where you feel powerless to take control, or make any choices or make any changes in your own life. When you can't study exactly what you want to study when you want to study it, when you can't read exactly what you want to read when you want to read it, when you can't play exactly what you want to play when you want to play it, then when this is repeated again and again and again on a daily basis, the process of obedience becomes conformity, and the process of conformity becomes an inner state of boredom. You're constantly called no, and you can't do what you want. You know, you're told sit down, shut up, and get on with your busy work, because it's not even real work with much relationship to the real world. In addition, we've got things like TV, which is predominantly a passive medium for human development. And we just basically you need to do what I did, which is throw away my television. Or I gave it away, actually. So somebody else thought it would be good for them. So yeah, it's not good for me. So if it's good for you, then here you go. But turn it off, read a book, listen to a podcast, use your creativity in your mind, write something. There's so much more that you can do, and you can do it, because you can learn to do anything. So back to kids and the concept of boredom. Now, children naturally explore. That's what they do. That's how they grow and learn. They naturally discover, and young people are naturally creative. Look at the way they play. Look at how they use their imagination. Look at how they link and connect things together. Boredom, it's not natural. It doesn't come from the world. It doesn't come from the universe. The universe itself is a highly active place. It's totally in motion. Look around you. Nature is alive. The world is life. Existence is living, and life itself is a process. So, it's not external, it's internal. Boredom is a created artificial internal state. It's a perspective on the world. And if you can flip it back to switch the switch, if you can flip it, then nothing is an opportunity for something. If you think about, that makes me think about the business world, where if a business doesn't exist, that means two things. Number one, somebody tried it and it doesn't work, or nobody's done it. And even if somebody has tried it and it doesn't work, maybe they haven't tried hard enough. A lot of my experiences with people in business is they start businesses and they don't work at it enough. They don't try enough. They expect it to all work and all function automatically, and you have to continually put time and effort and energy into it to make it work. It's a process that never ends. So nothing is always an opportunity for something, and to have time is an opportunity for change. As you get older, you have less and less and less time in which to do things. You have less time in your life and you have less free time. So when you're young is when you have those opportunities for change. Every second counts and is counted. Boredom, in essence, is a limitation of your skills. It's a chain on your abilities. It's a mental trap. Don't get caught. It's artificial. You created it yourself. It doesn't really exist. You can get beyond it, because you have to get beyond it. You must get beyond it. Basically, if you're bored, it means that you have chosen boredom. It's a choice. And the same way it's a choice to choose boredom, you can choose not to be bored. You can choose not to be ignorant. You can choose to act, to move, to think, to learn, to experience. It's as simple as a choice that takes 1 second to make. And that is today's simple lesson, that the boring mind breeds boredom. Flip it, switch it, change it. hopefully simple lessons will remain simple. Let me know about your experiences. Let me know what you think about this topic. Speak to you soon.